From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, April 11th. Some rain chances will increase as we move through the day. Several rounds of rain to watch. Also, our meteorologists can't rule out hearing maybe a few rumbles of thunder within these showers. Going to get a high in the mid-60s. Indianapolis police say a 16-year-old boy is dead after being shot in a parking lot. Along with the teenager, 6 people were shot, and one man killed Sunday morning on the west side. And before that, a man was killed in the Butler-Targeted neighborhood on Saturday. This latest shooting happened just before 10 last night at 30th Street and Leslie Avenue on the east side. IMPD says the teenager was taken to the hospital in critical condition, went into surgery, and died. Officers who were there at the scene did speak to witnesses. They're trying to piece together what happened, but the violence over the weekend is a shock to the Indy 10-Point Coalition. The group, made up of religious leaders, former gang members, and ex-convicts, has helped curb some recent violence with a boots-on-the-ground approach in neighborhoods, especially in Butler-Targeton, where until this weekend there hadn't been a homicide in more than a year. Harrison isn't losing hope, though, and says the homicide rate so far this year is down compared to last. He thinks the new IMPD peacemakers will help. He likes the idea of added technology, such as a gunshot detection system being used in Indianapolis. And with more funding going to anti-violence groups, he thinks the investments will pay off in the long run. When it comes to the 16-year-old who was shot and killed, IMPD is still investigating and asks anyone with information to call police or Crime Stoppers. And that shooting comes as IMPD searches for whoever was behind a deadly birthday party shooting. Police say someone shot 5 men and a woman at a banquet hall near Lafayette Square Mall. Happened at 3:30 yesterday morning. Police say that they found one of the men dead inside the hall. Investigators think the shooting started as a fight. IMPD says the other victim shot will survive. A man running for sheriff in Hendricks County is apologizing following his arrest for an OWI. Terry Judy is one of 3 Republicans on the ballot for next month's primary. Danville police arrested him early Sunday morning. So News 8 looked into some jail records online. They show that Judy was booked for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. He retired last year after 33 years with the sheriff's office. News 8 reached out, got a statement from him, and he writes, "Please accept my apology for using poor judgment this past weekend. I have spent my entire professional career in law enforcement, and I make no excuses for my actions." He says he will continue to consult with families, friends, and supporters regarding his candidacy. Today, the Biden administration will unveil a formal rule to control ghost guns. The White House and the Justice Department have faced growing pressure to crack down on gun deaths and violent crime in the United States. Ghost guns can be put together at home from kits, so they're hard to trace or regulate. Classifying some of their parts as firearms would change that. President Biden says he wants Congress to mandate background checks for all gun sales, ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, allow gun makers to be found liable if their products are used in a crime, and fund crime prevention and policing. It's a list that history says is not likely to get past Republicans in the Senate. French President Emmanuel Macron will take on a far-right nationalist Marine Le Pen in a runoff for the presidency. This is the second election in a row the two will face off. Macron won by a landslide in 2017, but polling suggests this time around will be much closer. The outcome could have a substantial effect on the situation with Russia. Macron has strongly backed European Union sanctions on Russia, while Le Pen has worried about their impact on French living standards. Le Pen has previously stated her intentions to withdraw from NATO if elected. To the war in Ukraine, the country says it's ready for more full-scale attacks from Russia in eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian officials say the death toll from Friday's missile strike on a packed train station is up to 57. As we've reported on News 8, thousands of people were there to evacuate the city of Kramatorsk. More than 100 were injured. Cleanup operations are underway with workers gathering debris, scattered documents, and human remains. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin met virtually with Ukrainian troops training in Virginia yesterday. The group is part of a professional military education program that was scheduled before the Russian invasion. Yesterday was their last day of classes before returning to Ukraine for combat duty. The Defense Department released a photo from the video conference underway. Secretary Austin thanked them for their service and pledged his continued support. No one is hurt after manhole fires led to part of Times Square being shut down. Eyewitnesses reported hearing an explosion in the area just before 7 last night. Firefighters found at least 2 manholes on fire. First responders also were concerned about the risk of smoke and carbon monoxide. Firefighters detected elevated CO levels in one building nearby. They ventilated the cellar and subcellar of the building. Police in D.C. are asking for information on the shooting of 4 people outside the Nationals baseball stadium. It happened less than an hour after the team's game Saturday against the Mets. Police say the victims are 2 men and a teenage boy and girl. None of their injuries is said to be life-threatening. D.C. police are offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. Some medical companies are promoting blood tests that test for cancer in healthy people. The test is called a liquid biopsy. The test checks for cancer by looking for DNA fragments left by tumor cells. The tests are already used by people who have cancer. Doctors use them to tailor treatment and check to see if a tumor comes back. U.S. government researchers are planning a study that could last 7 years and have 200,000 people in it. The White House wants to cut the U.S. cancer rate in half, the cancer death rate in half, I should say, in the next 25 years. For the first time since Indiana's record average more than a month ago, gas prices in the state are averaging now $4 a gallon. According to Gas Buddy, it's now sitting at $3.98 a gallon. That's more than 11 cents less than last week and a drop of more than 28 cents compared to a month ago. And finally, there is a new member of the Green Jacket Club. The final round of the Masters wrapped up yesterday. 25-year-old Scottie Scheffler continued his dominant start to the season, winning his first Masters with a 10-under. It's his 4th tournament victory already this year. Tiger Woods wrapped up his day with a standing ovation. It comes despite Tiger tying his worst performance at Augusta in his career with a plus 13. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.